Hey guys, and welcome back to the Diabesties channel. Jazz over here. And if any of you have been around for a while, you know that I always say that your sugars are affected by more than what you eat. And in today's video, we are actually going to delve a little deeper into that. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 possible reasons that you can get hyperglycemia or high blood sugar. So let's get into it. So the first reason is something called hypoinsulinemia. 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 So the first reason is something called hypoinsulinemia. This is basically when the insulin you have in your body, the external insulin you're taking, is not adequate for your body. This could be for a couple of reasons. One, that your sugars are high because of some stress and you've not taken enough insulin. Second, you've not taken the correct dosage of your insulin. Or third is that you haven't matched the insulin to the carbs you are eating. What is the fix of this? Basically, get your dosage right, get your insulin sensitivity factor right, check your ICR, and remember to take the correct amount of insulin for what you are eating. The second reason is for pump users. It could be a pump connect defect. Basically, it means that when you have a pump in your body and the cannula is inside, sometimes you could have an air bubble in the cannula which could stop the flow of insulin. Sometimes you could have a kinked cannula, which means that the cannula has slightly bent inside your skin, again, which causes the insulin flow to stop or break. In these reasons, what can happen is that less amount of insulin can go into your body, causing your sugars to rise. The fix of this is again very simple. If you see that you are wearing the pump but your sugars are still rising, check all the tubing, check the wiring, check your cannula sites, and if needed, replace the cannula so that you can continue with your insulin dosage. The third reason, similar to the pump one, but for people who use MDI or multiple daily injections, is malfunction needles. You guys know how much I stress upon the importance of changing your needles often, and sometimes your sugars could rise because your needles have not been changed. An overused needle can sort of become blunt, which can again obstruct the flow of insulin. Moreover, an overused needle can cause something called lipohypertrophy, which means that your injection sites become hard. The fat under your skin accumulates, causing the absorption of insulin to be unpredictable. So sometimes you could be doing everything right, your ICR is okay, your injection is fine, but because of the overused needle, you're not getting the amount of insulin required. What is the fix of this? Very easy. You guys have heard me say it time and again, is that try to change your needles every day, or at most every once in 2 days. The next reason is overuse of stimulants, and these could be stimulants such as bodybuilding stimulants or things as simple as caffeine. What these do is that they produce a fight or flight response in your body, which causes your body to release extra hormones like epinephrine, adrenaline, growth hormone, cortisol. All these hormones are responsible for raising your blood sugar levels. What is the fix of this is that make sure that you consult your doctors if you find you're varying sugar levels, and go easy on the stimulants. Everything in moderation is okay, but anything in excess is not good for anyone, not just people with type 1. The next reason could be anaerobic exercises, which basically mean things like strength training, weight training, resistance training, or high intensity interval training. You guys must be wondering that with exercise, we've often heard that our sugars come down. That is with things like aerobic exercises, prolonged cardio, a slow walk, a jog, Zumba class, dance. These can all cause your sugars to fall. But when you do things like strength training, when your body, your heart rate goes up, shoots up for smaller durations of time and then comes back down, it again makes our body release hormones like adrenaline, epinephrine, cortisol, growth hormone. And these are again responsible for increasing your blood sugar levels. We've oftentimes found that with weight training, your sugars always tend to go higher. So the fix of this is to make sure you check your sugars before, during, and after your workouts, and also ensure that sometimes you may need a little insulin on board while you are working out if you are doing anaerobic exercises. But always consult with your fitness expert do your own research and monitor your body for patterns. The next reason is an extension of the previous reason. So like I said, cardio does cause your sugars to come down. But on the flip side, very intense cardio can actually cause your sugars to rise, which is why what we see is in a marathon, sugars tend to trend downwards, but if you are sprinting, your sugars will tend to trend upwards. Same reasons as before. Again, the fix is to monitor, check your patterns, and ensure that you are taking the correct amount of insulin for your workouts. The next reason is probably one of the most obvious reasons, and that is too many carbs. And taking too many carbs without taking the amount of insulin required, which is why we always say getting your insulin to carb ratio right is very, very important. Another tip over here is to ensure that when you are going to have a carb heavy meal and let's say your sugars are slightly on the higher side already. For example, if I'm going to be having a large pizza all by myself and my sugar is around 200, I wouldn't immediately start eating. I would take a small dose of insulin and wait for my sugar to come to normal range, let's say 140 or 130, and then I would have my pizza. What this does is that the carb heavy load on your insulin decreases. If I was already at 200 and then I had my pizza, the insulin would first work on getting my sugar down to normal and then work on the carbs, and that just causes a delayed spike and your sugars will go up. So remember that whenever you're eating, make sure you're in normal range, and if not, take a small correction to come down to normal before you indulge in a carb heavy meal. When you're having carb heavy meals, another tip and trick is to always add some fiber to your meal. What this does is this delays the instant spike. So if you're having a pizza, try to add lots of vegetables as toppings and have a thin crust, and you should be okay. The next reason is stress. Yes, stress, emotional or physical stress on the body will again release those bunch of hormones and cause your sugars to rise. So if you are going through periods of stress, try to talk to someone, try some meditation, try some yoga, because stress can actually raise your sugars a lot, more than food sometimes. So do not take stress lightly, and if you are, please get the help required. The next reason is infection or illness. So for all my type 1s out there, you know I keep saying sick day rules are very important. When your body is sick, again, it's an added stress to the body. To fight this particular illness, your body needs more fuel. And what is fuel? It's glucose. So your liver will actually produce more glucose for your body to be able to fight that illness. And more glucose means more insulin. We oftentimes find that people who are ill or have a viral infection require more insulin in those particular days. So don't get scared because you need to increase your insulin for a couple of days. This will ensure that you do not have high sugars when you are going through periods of sickness. And the last reason why your sugars could be high is because of denatured insulin. Every insulin comes with an expiry date, and every insulin comes with a visual guidance, which means that if you are someone who is taking clear insulin, it shouldn't look cloudy. There should not be any particles in it. But if you are taking cloudy insulin, like NPH for example, it should not look clear. So always visually inspect your insulins before taking them. Ensure that the cold chain has not been broken. That means that from the pharmacy to your house, or if you're traveling somewhere, the insulin is kept at a cold temperature between 2 and 8 degrees. And lastly, ensure that it is not expired insulin, because that will affect the way it works in your body. If your insulin is also kept in direct sunlight for too long, or if it's been frozen in the freezer, this can also cause the insulin to become denatured. So always check your insulin before taking it. The top 10 reasons why your sugars can rise, and it's not always your food. So I know that we are conditioned to believe that sometimes अगर मेरा sugar high है, मैंने कुछ खाया होगा इसीलिए high हुआ है. But I hope this video gives you a little more insight into all the reasons that your sugars can actually rise. The best tip I can give anyone is to observe yourself, observe your patterns, and make informed decisions. So that's it for today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. Follow us on all our social media handles. It's all Diabesties1. If you want to know more about the work we do, visit diabesties.foundation. And stay safe, stay happy, wash your hands, wear your mask, and live happily and bolus regularly. I will see you again in the next video. But remember that you are type 1 of a kind.